There is no social entity with a good that undergoes some sacrifice for its own good. Examples one finds in the philosophical literature are somebody who's seen the trial of a child of theirs, where they're being proved guilty of some crime that would drive the parent into a depression, maybe a suicidal depression. The trouble with government regulation of the market is that it prohibits capitalistic acts between consenting adults. It is, from another angle, an attack on requiring proof in philosophy. And it's also the case, I guess, that my temperament is to like interesting, new, bold ideas, and to try and generate them. That connection between evolutionary cosmology and the theory of objectivity that I was formulating pleased and excited me a lot. The scientists often have more unfettered imaginations than current philosophers do. Relativity theory came as a complete surprise to philosophers. And so did quantum mechanics. And so did other things. There is no justifiable prediction about how the hypothesis will hold up in the future. Its degree of corroboration simply is a historical statement describing how severely the hypothesis has been tested in the past. The fact that we don't keep repeating tests in the same arena is not because the probability of the hypothesis showing its falsity in other arenas goes up after it has passed tests in one arena. What hadn't been realized in the literature until now is that merely to describe how severely something has been tested in the past itself embodies inductive assumptions, even as a statement about the past. From each as they choose, to each as they are chosen. It's the level that allows us each to live our own chosen lives. But I notice not everyone agrees with the primary importance of that level, and I try to account for how they don't. There are only individual people, different individual people, with their own individual lives. Using one of these people for the benefit of others uses him and benefits the others, nothing more. I guess my tendency is to think essentially that the new wrinkles won't do the job if the old major idea didn't. And so you have to try something different. Then maybe they can all be combined in some coherent piece. The terminology of philosophical art is, coercive arguments are powerful and best when they are knocked down. Arguments force you to a conclusion. If you believe the premises, you have to, or must believe the conclusion. Some arguments do not carry much punch, and so forth. A philosophical argument is an attempt to get someone to believe something, whether he wants to believe it or not. A successful philosophical argument, a strong argument, forces someone to a belief. Whoever makes something having bought or contracted for all other held resources used in the process, transferring some of his holdings for these cooperating factors, is entitled to it. The situation is not one of something's getting made and there being an open question of who is to get it. Things come into the world already attached to people having entitlements over them. I think philosophers can do things akin to theoretical scientists, in that, having read about empirical data, they too can think of what hypotheses and theories might account for that data. So there's a continuity between philosophy and science in that way. Certainly the emphasis I place in this chapter on coordination of behavior and cooperation to mutual benefit is something that ought to be very congenial to people in the libertarian tradition. Philosophical argument. Trying to get someone to believe something, whether he wants to believe it or not, is not, I have held, a nice way to behave towards someone. Also, it does not fit the original motivation for studying or entering philosophy. That motivation is puzzlement, curiosity, a desire to understand, not a desire to produce uniformity of belief. Most people do not want to become thought police. The philosophical goal of explanation rather than proof not only is morally better, it is more in accord with one's philosophical motivation. Evolutionary cosmology formulates theories in which a universe is capable of giving rise to and generating future universes out of itself, within black holes or whatever. Through the evolutionary process, those who are able to engage in social cooperation of various sorts do better in survival and reproduction. I see the situation as follows. There are various philosophical views, mutually incompatible, which cannot be dismissed or simply rejected. Philosophy's output is the basketful of these admissible views. Altogether, one delimiting strategy would be to modify and shave these views, capturing what is true in each, to make them compatible parts of one new view. This book puts forward its explanations in a very tentative spirit. Not only do I not ask you to believe that they are correct, I do not think it important for me to believe them correct either. Still, I do believe and hope you will find it so, that these proposed explanations are illuminating and worth considering, that they are worth surpassing also, that the process of seeking and elaborating explanations, being open to new possibilities, the new wonderings and wanderings, the free explanation, is itself a delight.